Fishtank Live is genuinely one of the craziest but most entertaining internet shows I've seen in quite some time. While many online creators choose to just morally grandstand their opinions and post mediocre content for the sake of pushing a message, this show just wants to entertain you. It doesn't take itself seriously, and I love that about the show. But what exactly is it? And how did such a basic ass series like this captivate many? Well, that's what we'll be diving into today. Fishtank Live is co-created by Jet Neptune and Sam Hyde, along with the rest of the group, $1 Million Extreme. Jet is known for being a rapper and also co-creating WorldCorp Enterprises, a shock site that he made at the age of 16. It became a massive topic in the YouTube horror community, even being covered by Nextpo in late 2019. He joined up with Sam Hyde in that same year, helping produce some content after moving to Rhode Island. Both were massively involved in the iDubbbz documentary Getting Away With It, which brought Sam back into the limelight. Sam has been making online content for decades now, first forming the group MDE in late 2007. He's known for giving a parody TED Talk, creating a controversial Adult Swim show that quickly got cancelled, and has been accused of being part of the alt-right. I say accused as the evidence claiming that he is kinda weak in my opinion. He's a troll and you won't get a straight answer out of him, unless he thinks you have good intentions. And that leads us to iDubbbz, who he trolled in an intent to make the documentary more interesting. Ian didn't seem to notice any of this, as his sole intent was to expose Sam as being a horrible person. Easily the best part about it is Danny, an actress Sam hired to play his cracked out, abused girlfriend. Many see her as a reflection of Ian's own wife, Anissa. Once revealed that she is an actress, instead of showing relief, he's pissed.
Have you tried to get her any help?
No, seeing as she's a girl I paid $500 to shave her head and pretend to be my girlfriend, no, I haven't tried to get her any help. Should you want me to try?
Well, okay.
I don't know her that well. It's probably not my business to get her off drugs. Also, I think I told her to put her hand in your pocket and pretend to be on drugs.
Shut up.
Are you serious? You think I would date a girl that has her hair shaved like that?
Yes.
You think I'm a fucking mental case?
Yes.
Despite this, Sam was still supportive of the documentary and gave major props to iDubbbz, though Ian didn't feel the same way and banned the MDE crew from going to the first Creator Clash. This is despite the fact that they were donating over $10,000 for charity, but Ian let his personal grievances get in the way of the greater good. This is what made Sam dislike iDubbbz, and in turn, Anissa, once her family got in contact with him, to shit talk her.
Her family, I've been hit up by her family members talking shit about her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Even your own family hates you, bitch. What does that say about you and how fucked up you are? They said that you used your Alzheimer's father as a dramatic prop. That's what Creator Clash 1 was for? It was for Alzheimer's or something like that?
Then the Froggy Fresh drama happened, which just sparked further debate.
They didn't contact him at all until they learned that he was coming here to train with you.
Yeah,
then they were blowing up his phone.
That's what I've heard from multiple people, is that the minute they heard he was coming here, they were like calling him, and Tyler said the first thing they said was, "How do you know Sam Hyde?"
On February 3rd, 2023, Sam and Jet would announce the new project they had been working on, an online reality show, live streamed 24/7. It was originally called Hell House, but would now become Fishtank Live. Updates would be given over the next 2 months, and Jet asked fans for interesting ideas that could be implemented into the show. He would describe more and more about what Fishtank would entail, that it will feature 8 contestants being confined to a house with absolutely no privacy. Many auditioned, and certain locals like Daniel Larson were considered to be possible contestants. But by April, the 8 were picked, and some were shown off in the trailers Sam released on his YouTube and Instagram page.
One of my role models is Jesus, and probably Andrew Tate.
The Fish Tank is a fully monitored smart house. You live in the walls. You control the action.
If someone lied to me during the show, I would definitely talk to them.
8 contestants.
I'm fully vaccinated with 2 boosters, left profile.
6 weeks.
We're definitely gonna have to team up and then kick everyone out. I like cover my ears and start screaming and have like an autism meltdown.
No privacy.
I've been in over like 100 fights. I could for real like scrap with anybody.
No phone.
The longest I've been without my phone, probably like a week or two.
We heard what you said. We know when you go to the bathroom. And one winner walks away with $10,000. This is Fishtank.
I don't think I have any questions right now.
It's basically like Big Brother, but with audience participation. How that works is that users can pay to send text-to-speech messages, which the 8 fish could hear depending on what room they're in. There are also fish toys, which are options that will either help or hurt the outcomes of the contestants. These include snack delivery, where a staff member will give snacks to the fish of your choice, loot crate, which is pretty similar, bed snatcher, which will take a contestant's bed for the night, camera down and camera up, which will make a requested camera turn on or off, EMP, which will turn off all the lights in the house, fridge swap, where the items in the fridge will be swapped with the items in the freezer, and the hot/cold in here fish toys, which affect the temperature. Mostly every room has a camera and speaker, allowing you to switch between rooms like Five Nights at Freddy's. The setup even uses the same sound effects. The website itself also has a page dedicated to describing the contestants, while also showing when they got eliminated. Daniel is described as a San Francisco native with a decent online influence due to starting off as a Vine star. He posts raps and comedy content on his Instagram, and claims he's been in over 100 fights. Clearly a tough guy, though for the most part he comes off as a goof. Many suspected him as a plant, due to previous association with the members of MDE. Sylvia is the goth girl who goes under the alias Pissrupt. Great name, I know. She's known for making music under the name Dream Substance, and many viewers of the show quickly found out that she has an OnlyFans. Morrow is described as a friendly and easygoing guy, with massive knowledge of reality shows. He's a phone addict, which will be his kryptonite as no phones are allowed on the show. There's not much else about the guy, to be honest. Simmons is a Chinese immigrant known for traveling and being active in various sports, though what stands out about him the most is his singing, which his social media accounts primarily focus on. Violetta, or Letty, as she is commonly nicknamed, is described as an unemployed gamer who is chronically online. She hates overmasculine men and honestly comes off as a femcel. Even worse than that is she's from, Canada. God, that's horrifying. Vance is best described as a normal guy. He's big into sports and mainly came on the show to spice up his life. Josie was a fan favorite off the bat, as she described herself as a shy person with an affinity for anime and Dance Dance Revolution. She's mainly known for a constant need to stimulate herself with something, preferably toys. Finally, Jonathan, who most are polarized by at first due to his immense love for Andrew Tate. He's highly autistic and speaks with a notable speech impediment, which is humorously described as a European accent. He apparently has a lot going for him already, running a small electric bicycle business, opening a restaurant, and modeling. The show began on Tuesday, April 18th. The 8 contestants, Morrow, Josie, Vance, Simmons, John, Daniel, Letty, and Sylvia, entered the house and slowly began talking to each other. Josie stood out due to her use of a duck toy playing the Witch Doctor song, something that would become synonymous with her during the first few weeks. Daniel was doing this under the blanket. Many clip channels and Twitter pages were created in order to compile the most significant moments, which helped many get into the show, such as myself. At 1 a.m. that night, the show's host, Jason Goldstriker, made his appearance. What's that you say? That's just Sam Hyde? What are you, retarded? No, that's Jason Goldstriker. Anyways, Mr. Goldstriker says that the show is going to be huge, and that Mr. Beast himself even posted about it.
So shout out Mr. Beast and Chris for putting the link out there. But this is going to be fucking massive, okay? So take this opportunity to the max. That's my recommendation. I never regretted anything I did on reality TV except for the times where I wasn't engaged in trying to do something interesting.
The first challenge then starts. 8 bags of rice are dumped on the floor, and each fish must count how many jasmine rice are in each pile. Meanwhile, Goldstricker cooks some pizza. Nobody was able to get it done within an hour, so they all had to guess. Sylvia won the $1,000, while John would win some chicken wings. Before leaving, Goldstricker would warn of the elusive entity which haunts the house.
The entity is harmless. Completely harmless, okay? So that can't hurt you unless you make eye contact with it. It cannot cross the threshold into your bedrooms. But the entity does wander the halls at night. Oh my God. When everyone is asleep. Now, if someone's awake, the entity does not make a visit. So if you want to be awake in shifts, I don't know, that's maybe what I would do, but hey.
The next challenge would commence the next day, which is to write an essay about the show. The second day began with Simmons and John doing whatever the fuck this is. John would spill the beans on how the internet views the other fish, as he accessed the website before arriving late into the previous day. Him narking on the show like this resulted in his wings being tossed in the garbage disposal. Text-to-speech was then enabled, with John getting his ass roasted.
John, shut up, you stupid retard.
That's me.
Daniel would get caught vaping in his room, which is a big no-no. He was strip-searched by one of the sharks and given a stern warning. That night, Mr. Goldstricker returned and each fish read aloud their essays. Josie won due to an audience poll, and she was given a fish buck. These are the currency of the show, each worth $500. They will be given out to those who win challenges, though some challenges could possibly result in a contestant's elimination, but depending on how poorly they do. Each fish is then given a fish buck besides Jonathan, because he's a narc. Oh, and he gets his bed taken away. The third day began with the TTS calling Sylvia a hog, and John setting off the smoke detectors. Simmons then cooked some more pizza in a pan, and Daniel ruined everyone's pancakes. Goldstricker soon entered the house and took a fat, stinky shit in Violetta's bathroom, which would then become a common occurrence. He goes downstairs and gaslights John into thinking Andrew Tate is tweeting about him. He seems to believe it, and has legit instilled some confidence to keep going.
They are loving you on the right wing here.
That's good.
We got all kinds of mad Andrew Tate, funny, and I didn't show you this. I debated whether or not to show you this because I didn't want people freaking out, but keep this to yourself. Don't tell anybody about that. You see that?
Oh, shit!
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
The next challenge is announced, where 2 separate teams will plan out a comedy skit. The fish spend the rest of the day doing pretty much nothing, besides Josie, who was in her room stimulating herself some more. At 8:30 though, the website was shut down. Sam later clarified on Twitter that this was due to the server costs being a lot more than expected. Instead of being $30,000 a month, it was $30,000 every 3 days. While fixing this issue, the stream will have to be moved elsewhere.
Okay, John, you can drop the bit. You can talk normally now.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Yo, that was a good one.
The next day, the last stream would appear on the Sam and Nick's Perfect Clips YouTube channel, and the camera would only be controlled by the crew. The skit challenge would be moved to day 6, so the entire 4th day was just the fish hanging out. They would watch the only movie Goldstricker left at the house, being Stuart Little 2. A sparring match would then commence between Goldstricker and John, the latter being easily defeated. Simmons then led his own sparring lessons with some form of Tai Chi, with him and John getting pretty sensual.
That's good. That's good. Ooh. Okay, that's fine.
After a messy dodgeball match, John shares some pretty weird conspiracy theories he has.
Do you know how to get superpowers?
What kind of superpowers are you talking about specifically?
How about flight?
You need levitate?
Sure.
Yeah. You can do it. You just have to change this vibration. The vibration is giving off the sound that comes off you.
Daniel sparks up some drama by calling John naive and argues with him about what's in the suspicious bottle on the counter. John thinks it's rum, but really it's just vinegar. Events like these would spark memes about John, usually incorporating his speech impediment with some sort of Andrew Tate quote. Day 5 started out pretty typical at first, with Jet introducing yet another challenge to spice things up. He says that 2 of the fish were given secret tasks, and whoever guesses correctly will get 2 fish bucks. Though if the 2 were not caught, they will get the fish bucks. Most of the fish didn't get that much sleep, with John almost cutting his throat while cooking. During the day, Morrow got a surprise search from one of the sharks due to seemingly having a phone. Simmons led this ceremony in an attempt to find the 2 fish who have been assigned tasks.
Now, you're gonna put your left hand on the person on your left's pulse, okay? Trust the process.
This is stupid, bro. This shit sucks.
It instead made everyone incredibly uncomfortable, besides John, who then went upstairs with Simmons. They began feeling each other's pulses, which was the beginning of the 2's very essential interactions.
The amount of pictures.
The amount of pictures.
Which is.
对。
The stream would get taken down soon after, leading to much confusion in the community. It turns out that the house got doxxed, but everyone was safe. Jet would post the following photo on his Instagram story. During this brief period, many of the fish would check their social media and give updates. Sylvia challenges iDubbbz' wife Anissa to a boxing match, which I would actually want to see.
I think we don't fuck with Sneeko in this house.
Wait, why? What did he do?
I don't even know who that is.
He's
What
just
is-
a snake. He's a cup.
What did he do?
He's a cup.
What happened?
I want to meet iDubbbz and
No!
What does Sneeko do?
Anissa, what's her name? Anissa.
You do?
What do you mean he's a
Yeah.
Anissa, I'm sorry to hear this. You have to hear this from me. But I'm gonna fight you.
No. I'm your
I'm
biggest
also an
fan.
OnlyFans model that is curvy and I have tattoos. So let's get in the fucking ring.
What do you mean Sneeko's the snake?
Why do you want to fight her?
I don't know. I just don't like her face.
What do you mean by that?
That night, Vance would tell the other fish about how H3 stole jokes from him. Wouldn't be surprised, not gonna lie.
Are you serious?
Really? What the fuck did he steal?
He stole this, so I made this skit with my brothers called Goof, and yeah, he took like a lot of some of the quotes and things like that from the video. He actually like subscribed to us on YouTube. So
What did he use?
Is he still subscribed?
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, he gets fucking intel on you.
Dude, yeah.
Go to H3H3's YouTube and look at his subscriber list. Scroll down. He's following an account called Triple Buck or Triple Buck Empire. I know what you did. I know what you did, Ethan.
Jonathan then tells this pretty weird story about himself.
There's like a ball on the ceiling, so I grab like this, and it's like a pull-up, only like I use my hip and I toss up against the wall. People love that too.
Letty found Mr. Goldstricker's suit in the laundry room and put it on in the light of the other fish. He soon appears. Vance almost starts a fire, and John can later be observed having a really weird dream while on the couch. In the morning of day 6, the sharks woke everyone up popping balloons. Daniel moons both the kitchen camera and all the other contestants, leading to the sharks pulling him aside for a bit. Vance practices the drums upstairs and attracts a certain someone's attention. John starts autistically yelling into the kitchen, leading to both Simmons and Daniel telling him to shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up! You literally sleep on this, bro.
You think I give a fuck?
Yeah, I think I do.
That night, Goldstricker arrives to help judge the comedy sketches, which the fish sort of prepared for.
We gotta bust up a whole room full of cabinets. Oh, shit, sorry guys, sorry.
No,
Did not know that was in here.
The team consisting of Simmons, Sylvia, Letty, and Vance go first. Their skit consists of Simmons consuming a pink pill, which makes him more feminine. He wears a dress that he himself brought for the show.
What's up, you freaks? Perfect! Now are you ready to go make that rent money? Let's go, bitches!
The team consisting of Jonathan, Morrow, Josie, and Daniel won in the end, showing the latter dressed up as Osama bin Laden getting waterboarded.
This whole fuck up, get out of here, fucking devil cat! Come on! The fuck is the candy? The fuck is the candy, bro? What the fuck do you really wrong about? You know you fucking dead, you know that, why?
We know you're for
Yo, you fucking elected as fucking Hoopa Loopa!
What are you doing?
Fucked up, bro! You can't be elected as fucking Hoopa Loopa!
After their victory was announced, Simmons went upstairs and sat alone in the dark room, with his dress still on. Goldstricker then has a really comforting chat with Letty, who is visibly upset after her team lost that challenge.
Letty, losing's just part of life. Okay? You went down there. You gave a performance that captivated, at this point, 7.5 or 75,000 people. There's 75,000 people watching in the chat right now. The performance that you just gave, it was amazing, it was miraculous. You were second voted after Simmons. The only reason they gave it to Simmons was they were worried about him having a mental health episode. Like, actually, for real, they're going to give it to him so he doesn't self-harm or something.
Going into the 7th day, John threatens to reveal some covert information about the show. Him and Daniel have some back and forth before the beans are spilled. Daniel really is a plant, and during the day he blatantly uses his phone. This results in him getting kicked off the show, though this isn't the end of his story just yet. In fact, not too long after, he dressed up as a shark and poured apple juice on Jonathan.
Yo! Why the fuck are you talking shit like that, bro?
Vance confronts the audience and hypes them up, elaborating that he wants them to be Vance-pilled.
What I want you to do right now, reach into your medicine cabinet. I want you to take out the biggest, fattest Vance pill you can find. Pop it in. Get a tall glass of water. Swallow it down. Get it down there. I want to know who's truly Vance pilled. I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to feel it in the votes or whatever this is going to be. I guess the only thing left to say is let's go!
After sparring with John, Mr. Goldstricker announces the next challenge, an elimination challenge. Called Unplanned Parenthood, he pairs the fish up with a partner, Vance and Letty, Morrow and Sylvia, John and Simmons, and lastly Josie by herself. The challenge will begin the next day. In the meantime, a certain contestant will have some pretty disturbing stuff about him dug up. Finally, the Fishtank website is back up and running, though for much of the 8th day it's a bit buggy. At 3 in the morning, John and Simmons spend a long-ass time having a chat. John feels like he has been a bad friend, and the two reconcile.
I felt like you were ignoring the issue at hand, and I truly do believe you were mistreating me unfairly.
After this went on for over 2 hours, one of the sharks came up and told him to get some sleep. Simmons then complimented John on his accent.
Yeah, your accent is pretty cute.
What? You're saying that to John? That his accent is cute?
No, your accent is kind of cute and a little cute and funny.
John then goes downstairs and shares more of his weird-ass opinions. While that happens, Morrow has a chat with Simmons, which is a lot less serious. Josie finds a plushie in her room, which is the first of many. John and Simmons end up both sleeping on the couch, despite being allowed to sleep in their respective beds, so a shark has to intervene again for them to sleep upstairs. A lot of Simmons' behavior at this point is definitely bizarre, but it becomes downright disturbing with some added context. You see, fans did some digging and found some very concerning material Simmons has made. These are sus at best and downright criminal at worst. The most notable of his works is the book Camp Counselor America Dummy Guide, the most controversial one. It basically gives tips on how to hook up with minors in the right way. Even if all of this material is meant as a joke, it still comes off as a sick and simply unfunny. Once text-to-speech was re-enabled, Simmons was spammed with messages.
From Simmons Book 1, wait till he or she's over 18 if you really love him or her. One of you needs to man up and ask Simmons what we are talking about.
What are they talking about, Simmons?
About what?
Bro, camp counselor.
The fish and staff alike would grow suspicious of Simmons, with Mr. Goldstricker finding the upsetting material and consulting the public. Meanwhile, John would reveal that he hasn't drinking a single thing of water yet due to there being fluoride in it. Instead, he's been drinking nothing but coffee. He then tells some life stories so fake that it would make 10 among you blush.
You guys probably have done pain pills like that.
No, that doesn't mean that, John.
I've been trying to avoid taking Imitano or ibuprofen. I think it's good to embrace the pain.
Embrace the pain.
When Goldstriker arrives, he trains John and bestows upon him this helmet. Daniel also comes back to the house, weirdly enough. After a cooking challenge, he gives the teams their baby dolls, with the goal of having it cry the least.
Simmons Shoe. Why does that name sound so suspiciously familiar? Maybe because your secret screen name is Naughty Camp Counselor? Now, Simmons, I'm going to need you to have a seat right over there. I've been going through some transcripts, especially some, things that have been said by Aaron Smith and Jason Goldstriker.
Going into day 9, John gets pissed at Simmons for bringing up some gay shit before being told to shut up for the 20th time.
John, we have a baby together.
Simmons, we've
Stop yelling in
found
front
it.
of the kid, John. You can't, let's.
Simmons, stop acting gay.
But
You're making me outclass.
While most of the fish hang out on the couch, Sylvia reveals that one of her boyfriends was over 60 years old when she was 16. John shares intrusive talks of killing his baby doll, which the others encourage.
Oh yeah, you dare me?
I double dog dare you to kill the baby.
Do
it.
God damn, you guys all failed the test. Holy shit.
Simmons locks himself in the bathroom with the baby while John shakes the other team's infants. This is fair game, as Vance and Letty had done it earlier with his baby. Morrow gets it stolen right in front of him, which really upsets him. Simmons, at this point, knew that it wasn't a matter of if, but when he'd get kicked off the show. Mr. Goldstriker would finally do something about him, in possibly the best way he could. He had the fish sing karaoke, mainly Simmons as a jab at him emotionally. In one of his books, he mentions having trauma at a young age, due to his family making fun of him for singing karaoke. While he sings Baby by Justin Bieber, Goldstriker laughs and ridicules him.
I know you love me, you love me high. I know you're so.
Once that was over, Goldstriker pulled out his phone and began reading aloud the most troubling section of that camp counselor book.
Well, I got some reading I could do. If you want to hear some reading.
Is it Simmons' book?
No. I just keep excerpts. I keep excerpts of books that I like on my phone. I'm not a freak. All right? I mean, this is something I saved as an inspiring quote. There was a counselor who worked for a camp for decades. Everybody loves him. But he got fired because he offered drinks to underage girls and allegedly raped her. Here's how to do it the right way. And I don't know, what is the right way? What's the, how does that go? You don't know either?
It was a while ago. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Did you say it was a while ago?
No, I don't think that's my book.
It's probably a hacker. Here's another, well. Sexual harassment warning. Like every culture, there are customs when you hit on boys and girls. So does camp counselors who work at camp nowadays are mostly college kids from all over the world. Of course, they would expect a romantic experience. You got to do it the right way or you might get fired. What's that referring to? What does that mean? That struck my curiosity. That piqued my interest. It made me wonder. Questions cropped up in my mind.
Yeah.
What could this be referring to?
That's fair.
What's this picture of this, 11-year-old? It says, into long legs. That made me go,
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck's that?
Okay.
Why is it funny, bro?
Sylvia, did you see the picture?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
Some weird ass shit.
For counselors, be nice, be polite, be the big brother of everybody else. Be a bit naughty. Well, Simmons, allow me to say something that you'll understand in your language.
Okay.
我要把你踢出节目. Translation: I'm kicking you off the show.
Okay.
Effective immediately, we'll be walking you out, taking you to a bus station in Fall River, and saying goodbye.
Okay.
You have 1.5 minutes to get your shit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Simmons begins packing his bags as the crew gets increasingly aggressive towards him.
That's a tough break, huh, guy? Jeez Louise. Sorry I had to do that to you.
No.
It's a tough break there. Jeez Louise. Well,
That happens.
I guess the career in entertainment's gonna have to be rebooted elsewhere. Maybe as a VTuber. Make some bucks, you know? Maybe make a few bucks on YouTube. That's an idea.
That's all good.
It's all good. You'll bounce back. Simmons, you're a liability!
Oh
You're a legal problem!
no! I don't want to go!
You
You don't fucking want you here!
costed me a lot of money. Bye!
Oh no!
Make sure he makes it to the nearest bus stop.
Oh no! Or no!
Shut the fuck up!
Once he leaves, Goldstriker imposes strict punishment to everyone else for messing with each other's babies. Vance got the worst of it, as his punishment was to be forced into romantic situations with Letty. This is really brutal, as the poor guy has a girlfriend back home. Morrow begins packing his bags, telling Sylvia that he wants to leave. He had become increasingly uncomfortable in the house, and the Simmons situation was his final straw.
I don't want to see you go, but, if that's what you want to do. If you're not going to be able to sleep here, be comfortable,
Yeah.
Due to his previous defense of Simmons, John felt guilty and locked himself in the bathroom. You really have to feel bad for the guy. He genuinely seems like a good dude, but is easily manipulative by those around him. He got toyed with by Simmons emotionally and began feeling unwell. Later that night, Simmons would go live on Discord trying to defend himself, with everyone else there eviscerating him. One of those in the call was Frank Hassel of all people. He will come up in the story a bit later. He had some pretty choice words for Simmons.
I didn't write this at camp. I write this after the camp to warn people who are trying to do that.
You're warning.
To stop them.
Wow, you're such a good
Yeah.
guy. You're such a good guy,
You're being
warning
so
everybody.
virtuous, bro.
Wow.
It's good of
Did
you to
it
warn
happen to
people.
you?
I'm not
how do you...
holy enough to grace your presence right now. You're such a humble guy.
The reason why I left was because I just didn't feel comfortable being there after what happened with the person that starts with the S being a P. I didn't feel comfortable being there, and I felt like sick to my stomach. I felt like my stomach was like turning around when I found that out. It was just like a weird feeling, and I just didn't feel comfortable being there, especially because I was his roommate and I would sleep next to him. I slept next to him for a week, and it was just something that it just like I can't explain it, but it felt really like just disgusting and weird being there.
Due to what just transpired, all the cameras in the house were temporarily taken down for a few hours. The remaining fish would get pretty drunk, besides John, who for some reason slept in the laundry room. He was feeling pretty nauseous and threw up. Despite the worsening condition, he refused to drink water. Jet would step in to get him something to drink and inspired him with a recent tweet from Andrew Tate, who claimed he was feeling sick. After intensely working out, he began feeling better. That afternoon, a new fish toy is introduced, which is the option to give Josie a new plush toy. Mr. Goldstriker would then introduce the next challenge, the cell. All 6 fish will be forced to stay within bedroom 2 until only one remains. Goldstriker immediately pukes in the closet and does whatever the fuck this is with John. The staff then take the opportunity to completely ruin the living room, which Daniel sees once he leaves the bedroom.
True, but it's also like
Little Letty go pee-pee in pants, swish, swish.
this challenge. It's like a mini challenge. It's only for money, right?
Yeah.
It's only for fish fun.
R.I.P. Jonathan. Anyways, Letty then does something pretty deplorable, which is going into the closet and peeing into a bucket. The entity soon arrives, leading John to combat it by kicking a hole in the wall.
John, how long will you hide the secret piss hole you created?
He tries covering it up, but a shark comes in and removes him from the room. The other 4 fish barely got any sleep due to viewers spamming the TTS, though Sylvia's last straw was John using the karaoke machine to lead a sermon.
It's my wrong, so I separate you, bring you unto me.
He continues for quite some time, resulting in Josie and Violetta also leaving the room. Vance is the clear winner, and he receives 3 fish bucks. Though since he's a good man, he splits it with Josie and Letty. After failing to get any additional sleep due to TTS, Mr. Goldstricker introduces the next challenge, hide and seek. While it seems simple, this is really just an excuse to roam around the house of a weed whacker. The rest of the day is spent opening up, with John discussing his thoughts on the whole Simmons situation.
Even though he said he was going to answer everything, and he never answered shit. And then he started going off topic about some real ass shit every fucking time, and I'm getting back on topic. It was like...
Later that night, the fish had a Nerf war, which Josie won after a showdown with Daniel. Waking up on the 12th day, John gave a passionate speech to his loved ones back home, in particular his girlfriend.
We'll go back home. I miss you and love you. I think about you a lot. I can't wait to be with you again. Love you. Same thing with all my family. I miss you guys. I love you guys. Think about you guys daily. Hope you guys are doing well.
The fish hang out on the couch with John retelling the classic story of Pickle Rick.
And so Morty goes over there, tries to look for him. He couldn't find him, and he was afraid Rick was naked and he was going to jump on him. And then he finds out he was a pickle, he turned over the pickle. And then he left him. And then his mom came out because they were all had to go to therapy that day. So the mom was like, she got all upset. And then she saw there was a syringe above him. So she cut it off so he wouldn't get stabbed by a syringe. But that syringe was going to turn him to a non-pickle back into human after they left. He had a timer attached to it.
Goldstricker comes over around 6 and announces a special guest might be coming over. Other announcements are made, like that the next fish will be eliminated that Friday, day 16. The grand prize of $10,000 has been raised to $30,000 due to the success of Fishtank Live. The baby challenge is wrapped up, with John delivering one of his best lines.
John, your baby was legally dead.
I want to give Mr. Goldstricker
He was legally dead
right on the
the
lips.
minute Simmons grabbed him.
Goldstricker then brings out a shitload of hot dogs, cooks them, and commences a contest. The twist is that the fish must eat each of the dogs while listening to a financial seminar. John declines due to not wanting to eat pork, due to loving Andrew Tate. I guess he doesn't understand that it's a religious thing, not a top G thing. Letty won, though fans suspected she cheated her numbers. The 6 fish went upstairs to continue the seminar while the crew destroyed the downstairs once again. Ben, one of the crew members, trauma dumps on the cast and later says he hates them. Nobody believed this, of course, besides John because he's gullible, though he is loyal as he declines the opportunity to sleep on the couch with Letty. The next morning introduced sound effects, which, along with John's use of the karaoke machine, annoyed everyone. Sylvia tried getting in on the action to make herself more interesting. In room 3, Daniel screams at the walkie-talkie aggressively. It is soon found out that he worked on season 2 of The Nut Shack as a voice actor, leading to more TTS spam.
Daniel, it's the Nut Shack, it's the Nut Shack, it's the Nut Shack, it's the Nut Shack. Daniel, I loved you as Horatio on the hit show Nut Shack. Why won't you talk acted?
He is then forced to teach John how to cook, where surprisingly nothing goes wrong. Josie has her plushies stolen and thrown in the piss closet. Due to no challenges occurring on the 13th day, John conducts a Bible study and explains his thoughts on men's rights.
It's a risk you take whenever you have sex, is to have a kid.
So you know what that tells guys then? To know we'll have sex with sluts. No guy's going to be fucking sluts. That's why a lot of people, like me, don't like sluts. They try to get pregnant, and then they want fucking money from the fucking guy, not give the guy a choice to back the fuck out.
On day 14, the 3 remaining men form an alliance and tell stories, which results in another funny John quote.
During it was third period.
Where the guys were
goes.
Guys.
Fuck! Yeah, too many times being gay.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's 10 times worse.
The first ever fridge swap is enacted, though also uneventful. Violetta argues with the guys over Daniel spilling something on her bed, so he goes back and dumps a full can of chili on it. The fish soon find various copies of Simmons' books, to which they read quotes to each other on the couch.
Yo! I don't want to hear this stuff. I'm being honest, guys. I don't want to hear this stuff that's in the book.
Yeah.
Dude, what if a camper has a crush on you?
Yo, guys, come on now, please. I don't want to hear.
Sexual harassment warning?
Yo, Sylvia, please.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
Goldstriker returns and introduces the Elimination Challenge, the Special Olympics. Whoever does the best job acting out a disability will win, and the audience will vote out the fish with the worst performance. This will go on for 24 hours, where the disabilities in question will be switched up. On this day, John has to use crutches, Letty is an amputee with her arms taped down, Josie is blind and has her face covered, Daniel is in a wheelchair, Sylvia is deaf and has headphones in, and Vance is supposed to be schizophrenic. John goes upstairs slowly and destroys Simmons' books, talks to Letty, and has a hilarious argument with Sylvia.
I destroyed your book. I break your books.
He is no fun. I
You
will never buy
cripple
your shirts if you lose
asshole.
it.
You deaf idiot!
Hey.
Vance clearly does his best job with the challenge. His acting is outstanding and even convinced people he was actually going insane.
Vance, T-H-E-Y-R-E-S. Someone in the hole. Watch out, Vance. Please don't get hurt, my baby.
Keep him out. 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 Keep him out.
Undefended baby Josie's room. Get the baby, save the baby.
They said the baby's in Josie's room.
The baby. The baby. The baby. Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Where's the baby? The baby. The baby.
Let's
The
go.
baby. The baby. The baby. The baby.
Let's go.
The baby.
Letty was told she wasn't entertaining enough, so a homeless black guy would be brought into the show. Josie would rip out one of her plushie's eyes to make it blind like her. The entity made itself known once again by first entering Vance's room, as he was freaking out. Daniel had his mattress taken, so he slept with Josie, until a shark came in and interrupted them. With the third week starting, the fish swapped disabilities. Daniel would now have to act retarded, with him instantly getting into character.
Daniel, you have the first of the new batch of mental disabilities. Daniel, you are now retarded.
Okay. John was tasked with acting schizophrenic, so he dragged his mattress into the bathroom. When Jason Goldstriker arrived, he begins a game of hide and seek, with the seeker being a previously foreshadowed homeless black guy they found on the street. The man, Warren, was able to find everyone except John. He became the winner due to hiding behind the washer. Once that ended, a mini-challenge commenced. Whoever acted the most retarded within the next hour will win, which Daniel had the advantage in due to that already being his disability, though this didn't last long as Jet came out to cancel the challenge.
You're a retarded monkey.
That night, it was clear to many that John was failing at acting out schizophrenia. He ended up just cleaning out the second bedroom and then throwing shit around the kitchen. Yet another mini-challenge was announced by Jet, where the 6 remaining fish would debate about gender roles. You know where this is going.
No, you know what? In most households, women have a job and take care of the kids at the same time. So how is that fair?
No, I do that.
Well, that's usually when there's a called a slot sluts. When sluts come into the pixels, if they were traditional women, why? If you're a traditional woman, you could get a traditional man. But if you're not a traditional woman, of course you're going to be doing both things. If you're a fucking
There
slut.
are lots of traditional women that have a job and have to take care of the kids at the same
Yeah,
time.
they're usually sluts.
No.
Day 16 will conclude the Special Olympics, with Mr. Goldstriker giving each fish 1 minute to act as retarded as possible. All of the infractions from the past 2 days were counted up, with Josie being immune from elimination due to selling the most merch. John would be the one eliminated, though not without a heartwarming goodbye from everyone else in the house.
John, you came in here really not liked by fans. Do you know that?
Yeah.
But you quickly became, this is not bullshit, by the way.
Okay.
You quickly became probably the most loved person. There's all kinds of memes about you on Twitter. John pilled, all that stuff that they say. You're going to see it when you get out of here. You did the best on the challenge today as well. You didn't have any infractions. You did the best out of everybody, but it wasn't good enough to make up for your performance over the past couple of days, John. I'm sorry to say. So we have to let you go.
That's okay.
I have to say something. You never backed down on your morals while you were here. You won over a lot of people. This is not bullshit, by the way. This is I'm dropping the character. You won over a lot of people, man. You did really good. You're headstrong. You're confident. And everybody watching this right now knows that you've got a bright future ahead of you. And that's it, guys.
Cool.
Can we get a round of applause for John? I really want John, we'll give you 10 minutes or 15 minutes to say your goodbyes. And then we'll come back up and walk you down through the basement.
Before leaving for good, John would don the red shark outfit and steal Daniel's vape and comic books. To round out the night, the other fish sat on the couch and read more of Simmons' book.
Damn, that's really him. He really wrote that. He really wrote this. This is him before the braces. God damn. He is fucking ugly.
The same day this all happened, on May 3rd, iDubbbz posted his bizarre take on the Froggy Fresh drama, which brings up Sam Hyde a lot. The funny thing is, the comments would soon be spread with people praising John and Fishtank as a whole. Day 17 had Jet try to get the fish to act like each other, with this giving TTS another excuse to shit on Letty for being boring.
Maybe like...
Josie start pissing and shitting on the floor, then have Daniel clean it up.
You know, that would be really good, I think.
Josie in summary, just be boring and you'll be fine in this challenge.
Then they all tell stories of when they were at their lowest point, with cringy sound effects playing. The bathroom confessional would begin use, which was only available to those who had a membership. Due to some major plumbing issues, the camping challenge would begin. Fake grass, a porta potty, and tents were set up in the living room and kitchen, as the plumbing issues were fixed. To liven things up again due to John's absence, a freeloader was brought in. A freeloader is someone who can't win the grand prize but can still compete in challenges and win fish bucks. The freeloader happens to be Simon, an obvious parody of Simmons who immediately grew on the fish.
Are you going to give these fish a run for their money?
If they have money.
They do.
They do?
Some of them are quite rich at this point. Everybody, this is a landmark moment. New competitor, Simon. I'm excited. I can't believe it. Are you happy right now?
I'm ecstatic.
Oh yeah. This is so good. Vance, what do you think about this guy?
Hey, welcome home, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome home is right.
In reality, this was Ty Nguyen, a stand-up comedian and rapper from Texas. In the confessional, both Daniel and Letty would be seen kissing the top of his bald head. For the camping challenge, Letty was elected as the camp counselor by Jet. This quickly caused conflict, mainly between Violetta and Sylvia. The latter and Daniel started plotting against her, explaining how much of a spoiled brat Letty is.
You said, oh, why did they say all this shit about Josie? She's not even entertaining.
I didn't say that, but you're off, bro.
Yes, you did. You whispered it in my ear because you didn't want anyone to hear. When we were up in the room reading the Simmons book.
Radiated feral ghoul asked, you know you want to do.
So why are you acting now like you didn't say all that shit?
Vance continued threatening her with a Nerf gun, and goes over the many aspects of gun ownership. This causes Letty to delve into a power trip, as a majority of campers had had enough of her. Jet has to step in to ensure she brings back order. At this point, the only thing Letty has going for her is the increased harassment from TTS about Sylvia, specifically her weight, referring to the e-thought as a piggy.
Yes. Relax, pretend it's a game. Maybe it'll be fun stuff, the mouth hog meat.
I guess crazy because I feel like I'm the person that eats the least.
Letty gets bullied on TTS all-day hog breaks. After 5 mean TTS, you are weak.
I mean,
I'm not fucking breaking anytime soon, bro.
And it's not just today. Like, be honest, it's been. It's nothing.
I heard the camera adds 10 pounds, and there are 11 cameras here.
Now we must introduce a new freeloader, Lance. Not Vance, but Lance, a chaotic doppelganger meant to instill even more chaos into Fishtank. In reality, this is a man named Tyson Harper, who flew in from Australia. His similarities to Vance influenced Jet to fly him out and have him influence the game. If Lance were to drive Vance off the show, he could compete for the grand prize. Simon and the 5 remaining fish woke up to find him just laying there. The two then move around and sync as TTS goes crazy.
What's your name? Vince. Vince. Hey, I'm Vince too. Nice to meet you. You don't shake? No? Damn.
Daniel then retells some erotic fanfiction between Jonathan and Andrew Tate, which gets pretty spicy. That day's challenge is a dance-off tournament, which many vote in Lance's favor. Goldstricker then announces that the camping challenge will continue for the next 48 hours due to nobody listening to Letty. So now, both her and Sylvia will be in charge, only allowing people to eat, sleep, and use the bathroom with their permission. Both of them are interviewed by Jet and gaslit into believing they can succeed. Early in the morning, Vance has become sick and tired of Lance's shenanigans. He stares his clone down as he sleeps, with a bit of dialogue being exchanged. That next morning of May 7th, Lance begins contemplating if joining the show was a good idea or not. Daniel was made in charge of the camping challenge and immediately begins terrorizing Letty over her supposedly taking his shoes.
Hey Letty, where you put my shoes? Bro, stop fucking lying to me. Where the fuck are my shoes? Bro, I'm gonna fuck all your shit up in this fucking room. You don't need my fucking shoes. Well, figure it out. Get my fucking shoes or all your shit in the fucking room. I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm not fucking playing.
He gathers a bunch of her items and throws them in the porta potty, sparking more outrage.
Telling me that funny shit, bro.
Lance then steals a bunch of Josie's plushies and throws them into the forbidden basement, which was a ploy to get her fans to buy even more plushies. With all this tension, some of the fish met upstairs and had a meeting. Soon after, Daniel began packing his bags and left the tank for good. Apparently it was due to his girlfriend giving birth back home, though with his absence, some new faces would appear in the tank.
Who's that Pokemon? It's...
You okay?
Day 21 introduces 2 new freeloaders. First is Chip, some random ass dude who is brought in to help with the next mini challenge, the Drunk Piece of Shit challenge. Chip is already distrusting of the fish, and from this point forward mainly comes and goes. The next morning all the camping stuff is removed, and the living room is restored to how it looked on day 1. Jet and Mr. Goldstricker then have the next freeloader introduce himself.
Chris, come on in.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Are we ready to make some art?
Yep.
Can we get some fucking personality?
Hell yeah.
Okay, thank you. Clap. The Trauma Squad.
None other than Chris, aka Airsoft Fatty. If you're not aware who he is, he was the main subject of iDubbbz's documentary Full Force. He hails from Battle Creek, Michigan, and is known for his cooking videos and fighting with toy lightsabers. Ian has neglected Chris over the past few years, and the fame from the documentary has led to nothing but misfortune in his life, so Sam thought fit to revitalize his online career and allow him to step away from the stigma of iDubbbz. Oh, and he was being paid, something Ian should have probably done. Chris in the show is introduced as a model, as his beautiful likeness is painted by the other fish. Chris then partakes in roasting the shit out of everyone.
Oh, Larry, you look like the definition of every vegan. Underweight and eating a ton of meat in your life.
Ooh, that's gotta sting!
Oh, by the way, Simon, my man, Mr. Miyagi probably wants his ear back. But Lance, my dude, gotta come back to you for a moment. You are rocking the whole drunken Australian uncle scene right there. I fully expect you to crash your boat into the next gully. Josie, I'm sorry, but you gotta change the look up sometime because on the subway doesn't look the best every day. Vance, my dude, you came in here thinking you had an advance of a chance to get out of here, but to be honest, you'll be blood in the water by the end of it. You look like every stereotypical high schooler who peaked. You peaked in senior year, and now you're stuck here.
They all then go upstairs and discuss their opinions on abortion.
Simon, what's your thoughts on abortion? Is there any of these takes that you kind of agree with? Or is there anybody you find quite idiotic?
I think abortion should be illegal because I want women to suffer.
Going into day 22, Lance would leave the tank due to Mr. Goldstriker offering him a role in the upcoming revival of $1 Million Extreme Presents World Peace. Though not long after he left the house, a new freeloader came in, this time a doppelganger for Josie. Named Ella, she began playing around with Josie's toys and imitating her mannerisms. Chris took quite a long time to get out of bed in the morning and started meditating halfway down the stairs. He then sets off the smoke detectors, which is something that happened quite often due to his dangerous cooking methods. Goldstriker and Simon would have a chat in the bedroom about the latter apparently being cancelled on Reddit due to some offensive jokes.
Okay. It's up to you how you want to manage your career, but that's just kind of my opinion on it.
Guess my career is over.
No. This will. I guarantee you, this will blow over.
I don't know.
I 100% guarantee you, this will blow over.
I mean, couldn't it tell us being, sarcastic?
They get pissed off.
Like irony.
They get pissed off over 40. Well, ironies is questionable. There's the circle of irony that it doesn't matter. But listen.
He then goes downstairs to relay this info to the fish.
Are you serious? Yeah. I'm in Austin, Texas, like a woke-ass city, so I thought it was just fun game, but...
Goldstriker can then be seen in another bedroom giving Chris some advice.
He was knocking back Jägermeisters, and we were drunk driving, he rolled the car, and then it ends like this. That was just a crazy night.
The day's challenge sees the fish split into two teams with the goal of shit-talking each other. By the day's end, the hassle meter has been filled due to meeting the goal of subscribers and Josie selling enough merch. This means a new and more exciting freeloader will be coming to the tank. If you're not aware, Frank Hassel is a notorious internet troll known for harassing famed lolcowboogie2988. This resulted in Frank showing up to his house, to which Boogie pulled a gun out and fired a warning shot. He's basically just a professional douchebag, which makes him a perfect addition to the show. He gets introduced, threatens to throw Letty out of the window, and destroys some shit. In particular, he sets his sights on Josie's plushies, which he had been hinting at. Not much else happens on day 23 though, besides Hassel having a really heartwarming talk with Chris. He comforted Airsoft Fatty on his recent struggles, namely him getting kicked out of his house and his cat getting taken away.
You want some time to yourself?
I appreciate that.
Okay, man. If you need anything?
I don't mean to be a crazy bitch right now. I know it's the first time meeting us.
No, man, it's all good. It's all good. If you need anything?
Fucking Reddit literally just costed me my home and my best fucking friend, dude. I hate them so fucking much. They called my fucking landlord sending her death threats.
Just because you live there?
Because they hate me, dude. It's been going on ever fucking since years ago.
Sucks, bro. I'm sorry. Just because they're evil, bro.
Everybody on Reddit is a huge fag, basically. No, you're good, man. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's good, man. It's you're a human being, man. You've got emotions and feelings and shit. I totally understand, man. You're doing good on here. People like you on here, man.
I appreciate that, Frank. It's just
you're doing a
the
great
past
job.
fucking 5 years have been the worst years of my life.
The next morning, Jet had a talk with the fish about their vaping habits and announced that no more nicotine would be given to them. This was actually one of 5 rules given out by Simon, who became the new leader of the house. He also decreed that no one can wear makeup, wear socks and shoes, everyone has to listen to Chris's stand-up for 10 minutes a day, and you have to work out with him. These rules put a lot of pressure on Sylvia and Ella, with the latter leaving the next day due to her nicotine addiction. Frank would become Simon's main enforcer, with Letty being the main target. He tried interrogating her in the garage, but didn't get much out of her. She was left there in handcuffs before being released by Chris. Sylvia faced Frank's wrath as well, getting her mattress stolen by Mr. Hassel. This did make for one of the most awkward exchanges of dialogue on the show.
You're making a big mistake.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
How so? What am I doing? What's gonna happen? Should I trust him?
So for me.
Be careful. Frank Sylvia is going to do a Yokozuna drop on your face.
True. What are you doing? What was that about? That was crazy. I think we might should go to my room. It's about time for me to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Where's your pillow?
I'm tired. I can find one.
Can you guys fuck already? I am so horny right now.
She would like that, but I don't think I'm interested. I'm getting attacked in here.
Well, what's happening?
I don't
Are you
know.
guys, like,
She's like, I don't know. She's
What?
trying to.
This
she
seems
she
like
wants
I walked
me,
in on something.
She wants me to plot against you, basically. She's like in here trying to get me
Are
to
you
turn on
serious?
you. Yeah.
So weird.
That's what she's saying. She's
What are you
like,
guys doing in
she
here?
wants me to help her get you out.
You guys look like you're like about to kiss.
That's what she.
No.
That's what she's been doing. She's been sitting here trying to get me to get you out.
Really?
Chris also spent some time training with Jason Goldstriker, who really wanted to help Airsoft Fatty get back on his feet. New fish toys would be added on day 25, including Shark Attack, where the sharks would harass someone of your choice, Dump the Can, where the trash will be spilled out onto the kitchen floor, and my personal favorite, Scream at Letty, where a staff member will start yelling at Letty just because. Someone quickly bought that last one, resulting in Ben going upstairs and screaming at her.
Shut the fuck up! Stop talking when I'm talking!
Don't lose your voice, Ben.
Frank then came into her room with his shit in a red Solo cup, telling her to dump it wherever. She does some back and forth, placing it in Sylvia's closet. The gang hangs out downstairs with this robot dog that plays music. Chip, the freeloader you've probably already forgotten about, then destroys it in a fit of rage. Sylvia then finds a turd in her closet and goes ballistic.
I know you're shit in my closet.
What?
You took a shit. You think I took a shit in your closet? Yeah, I did it.
I'm sorry. No, did you actually fucking do that, dude?
No, I did not. That is disgusting.
Like,
Even I have like
dropping the funniness for a moment. Like, all seriously, did you really take a shit in her closet?
No.
It's out there right now. You can fucking go look.
Jet then opens up an investigation, to which he interviews everyone in the house on their side of the story. After interviewing Letty for the second time, Jet decides to frame Simon for the crime. He denies doing it, so it's decided that a trial will begin the next day. The court battle begins, and all but one in the jury finds Simon guilty. Vance rightly suspects Letty of putting the poop in there, as 2 weeks prior she peed in that very same closet. The jury then goes upstairs to discuss this matter even further. Chris then admits that he knows what Letty's poop looks like, so it couldn't have been her.
Letty talks about shit and piss literally like 5 to 10 times a day.
No, that is a good point. She has IBS. She shits once every, what did you say, 1 hour?
Hour and a half. But
she poops
little rabbits. Yeah, she does have IBS. However, her poops are more like rabbit turd.
Have you seen it?
Have you seen her
Have
poop?
I seen the poop? Yes, I've seen the poop.
How have you seen her
When she
shit?
shit in the cup, right?
How have you seen her shit, Chris?
How do you know what her shit looks like, rabbit poops?
Tell us how you know what her poop looks like.
Here, she's talking about it. Now look.
Wow. You guys getting this? You guys getting this?
That's insane.
She's talked about her poops.
That's insane.
Oh, are you serious?
Let me finish.
She's talked about her poops with you?
At this point, though, everyone but Chris is convinced that Letty did the deed. The case is then considered a mistrial, and Simon is let off the hook. Lance then shows up out of the blue and surprises Vance, and Frank then converses with the two of them.
A meeting of the minds. Lance.
Frank.
Nice.
Both team up to fuck with Frank Hassel for the rest of the day, and all he does in retaliation is put up war paint on Chris's face. Instead, he commits a Shane Dawson and dons blackface for all to see.
Take the fuck off! No, I don't! No! Oh, dude, it's not coming off! Is that permanent paint? Is that fucking permanent paint?
In the garage, Chris teaches the others the way of the Force and duels Sylvia in lightsaber combat. Goldstricker then announces that Simon will be leaving the show with $50,000 due to completing a secret task. He will supposedly be taking a private jet all the way to Fishtank headquarters in Los Angeles, if that even exists. I don't know, maybe it does. Due to giving Simon so much cash, the show might be running out of money and needs a new investor. Due to his alleged risk when it comes to sponsorships, Jet kicks off a peeved Frank Hassel. On his way out, he destroys some more shit, as Jet speaks to the investors watching all of this go down. After a quick little dating competition the previous night, Josie and Sylvia are given a challenge of their own. They must plant 30 pictures of a mutated Letty around the house without her noticing. The prize is a dinner of their choice. The fish then drink some alcohol, with Lance drinking out of his shoe. It happens to be May 14th, Mother's Day, so the challenge becomes a sick and twisted version of that holiday. The female fish are to act as mothers to the male contestants, which didn't result in much besides Ben trying to manipulate Vance and Chris. Day 28 is when the gang war began. Jet separated the remaining contestants into two teams. Chris and Letty, nicknamed Fat and L-Word, were to occupy the upstairs and guard it. Vance, Sylvia, and Josie, nicknamed Pill, Peppa, and Jose, would occupy the living room and try to invade the others' territory. It was a full-on turf war between the Bloods and the Crips. Each person would get a point based on how gangsta they acted. What made this even better is that they would need to study for an elimination challenge, a standardized test of sorts. Not only would they have to be tested on math and writing, but Jason Goldstricker lore as well. The Bloods were given the shitty textbook, and the Crips were given actual study material. Josie took the lead for her group and marched with them into enemy territory.
Hey, yo.
Who the fuck y'all did to Peppa?
She's realizing what boy gets her.
You running Peppa's shit? You who the fuck says this is my shit?
Hey, yo, what's up? Come on.
Run your shit, Peppa.
Hey.
Fuck your fucking shit wrong.
Hey.
Where's Peppa's shit? Hey, put that shit down. I don't care. Put shit down. Where's Peppa's shit?
Josie also gets really deep into character.
Yeah, I'm about to run the yard, run that shit, and then run the yard. After I pull myself up a drink in my double cup.
Yeah.
I only drink blue. Tell me what blue shit is. Mario, that shit's red. Don't send that shit to us. Send me more blue questions. Send me some ammunition. Send me a gat.
Though by dinner, they hold a ceasefire for Chris to cook and set off the smoke alarms again.
I'm never cooking again after tonight. This motherfucking alarm hates my ass.
It's midnight on day 29, and Jason has a conversation with Letty about Chris's advancements towards her. Chris even once offered her a back rub, which she denied. Goldstricker insisted that she would let him do it, but Letty only will if she can get fish bucks. Goldstricker also told Chris to continue hitting on Letty. He He attempts to do so very, very poorly.
I'd swear that little fucking porn sound effect's just you. Just letting
Get
it fucking
out
rip.
here.
Seems like Jet might have been with you the whole time too.
What?
He might have been the one doing the oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Why?
I'm writing my neat speech.
What's with the butt lolly?
Sam Hyde's trainer, Sean, spends the day teaching the fish how to be gangsta and how to make crack. Goldstriker then comes in to judge the fake drugs they made and is clearly disappointed. Chris and Vance have a little back and forth due to the former being annoying. He destroys his book and shoves it down the bathroom toilet. Chris immediately laughs it off. 2 new freeloaders would join later that day, first being Morrow. Morrow finally decided to come back a week and a half after giving an interview about the show on local TV. He was met with open arms. Soon after, Betty walked to the door. Jet introduced her to Letty's amusement.
Fellow freeloader, Betty.
Oh yeah!
Betty, make yourself at home.
The next day begins with Betty and Morrow teaming up to mess with Letty. Her and Chris then talk in bedroom 3, with Letty suggesting that he walks around naked to make everyone uncomfortable. Before any of that happens, Jet tells the female fish to give Fatty a makeover. For the rest of day 30, Chris walks around completely naked.
I'm breaking the fucking fish tank today, motherfucker! Fuck yeah!
Oh my god!
Your balls, right? Your balls, right?
God bless America, please.
God bless America!
The feud between Letty and Betty heats up, with a new rule being in place to not have the two be in the same room together. Jet begins the day's first challenge, the drunk piece of shit challenge. The two who are the drunkest pieces of shit will win. Betty pours mustard on all of Letty's belongings, resulting in the two arguing downstairs. Even more sauce is poured before angry Betty flashes the bathroom confessional camera. Mr. Goldstriker arrives to finally administer the standardized test. The fish that loses this will be sent home. These drunk idiots spend an entire hour before heading upstairs as the crew grades their scores. Letty actually begins opening up about her struggles in life and why she doesn't want to leave the fish tank yet. This gets Sylvia all emotional, and the two drop their feud to commemorate their accomplishments from the show.
Yeah, but it's never gonna be the same again, like...
Unless they did a reunion.
Yeah.
Fish tank reunion.
Yeah, but this is like our first time ever meeting. When we get out, we'll have like all this like social media stuff. Like we'll be different people. Like our lives will be radically altered. And like right now, it's like the last time before someone leaves.
Mr. Goldstriker then announces the winners and losers of this challenge. Betty got the lowest combined score out of everyone, but since she's a freeloader, she doesn't have to leave. As a reward for being a loser, she gets a bag of chips dumped on her head. Josie and Letty scored the highest in the test, while Chris and Betty won the drunk piece of shit challenge, resulting in all of them getting fish bucks. The lowest scoring of the 4 main fish was Sylvia, meaning she would be the one eliminated. They all congratulate her on how far she got, and she leaves the house.
You beat out some freeloaders, but unfortunately you had the lowest of the fish. And I think we all have grown very fond of you. And the production staff really like you a lot and think you're a really great girl. And you did a good job entertaining people. But it's time to go. You did a really good job. Anyway, so thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this. You did good. All right, so everybody, please give Sylvia a round of applause.
I'm gonna start fighting.
Even though I hate you, kind of.
In the middle of the night, someone had apparently written something on the wall by Morrow's bed. In retaliation, he poured sauce all over Betty's bed, thinking she had done it. We don't know for sure who, but this led to her getting incredibly upset. Jet asks if she's okay, but Betty doesn't say much. Shortly after this interaction, she left the tank. The only other major thing that happened on day 32 was a cleanup challenge, in order to manage the cluttered mess that the house has become. Everyone is split into 2 teams, Josie and Vance, and Letty, Morrow, and Chip of all people. Turkey Tom would also make a brief appearance.
Why do you like Letty so much?
You need surgery.
I don't know.
You and your friends failed you a long time ago.
I don't know what it was, but like now that it's been a few days.
Is there something about her?
I don't know.
Is she your type?
I think it was just, I was in a house here for days, nothing to do.
And she's
she
just
was
the best
like,
option.
she was, yeah, the best option.
Okay.
Now, we got Betty. She's even better.
Oh, Betty's
and
even
she
better.
can even have a conversation.
She can have a conversation, but Letty can't.
Not the conversations I like having.
Yeah.
Chris is upstairs in a really bad mood, partially due to losing his bag. He admits to Vance that he's never really liked Letty, and she's not his type. He's been told by the producers that she likes him, which is obviously incorrect. She even flat out tells him he's delusional.
Simply, if you think that I like you, you're delusional.
I think the fucking dudes downstairs told me about your confessionals and how much you fucking crush over me.
The next morning, he plans to leave, not before getting slapped in the face by Morrow. A few new faces appear in the tank on day 33, first being Alex Stein and another homeless black guy named Ontarius. Letty immediately sees through Alex's act and calls him out on it, to which he debates her about poop.
You play
I'm
with
gonna pour pee and poop on you.
Because you like playing with poop?
No, because I don't like you.
Yeah, but you cannot like a person and still not pour pee and
Yeah,
poo.
I'm gonna pour pee and poo on you.
Because you have a pee and poo fetish.
No, that's
Yes,
not why. You're
yes.
always trying to make things sexual.
Look, if you're playing with pee and poo, you want to touch pee and poo to people, that is a fecal fetish.
Pee or poo.
Even if you're touching a device carrying the pee or the poo, you have a fecal fetish.
The Red Shark tries to make Letty wash Ontarius, resulting in her getting cleaned up instead. Chris returns to the house later that night. So does Frank Castle, and he sets his sights on Morrow. He's heard about how antagonistic Morrow has become, and decides he needs a taste of his own medicine. After being harassed by this dude for about an hour, Morrow complains like a little bitch and leaves.
If you want to get it, if you want to keep it, then Frank, you're not going to do it anymore. No, I was just fucking around. He's not going to do it. Bitch man. I know. Mario, he said he's not going to do it. No, I'm not doing it. He won't do it. You're bitch man. No,
What, you're gonna put him right.
No, I don't want to deal with it.
Mario, don't do this.
No, you won't do it. No, I don't.
Letty gets caught smoking weed and is yelled at by Ben. Brandon Buckingham then arrives with a black prostitute named Soraya. Her task, to have sex with Chris. This does not happen though, as she notices some poop stains on his shorts and smells shit.
Because I feel like the bed is kind of dirty, I'm scared to lay down on that bed. And honestly, I'm so sorry, but when I was like massaging you, there's something on like your butt crack.
Old stains from fucking airsofting.
What's that?
Old stains from airsofting, sliding dirt.
Okay, I'm like, it looks like poop stains, and I got scared.
You're good.
Okay.
This is too much for her and she leaves, though not before witnessing Josie shave off Vance's hair. Josie then gets her eyebrows shaved and Chris rocks a monk bowl cut.
Anyways, where's my plushie? I need at least two, one for each eyebrow. Come on now. I've never not had eyebrows in my life. This is a new experience. How about a new fidget toy too? Frank broke my cube. I'm here with this nasty ass ball. I ain't balling.
The next day, a fight club of sorts is formed in the living room. Brandon squares off against Alex and a now bald Vance fights Josie. Letty tries to take her on and gets knocked out. Fatty is filmed committing a Joe Biden by falling up the stairs. This instantly becomes one of the biggest memes on the show. Emp Lemon, going by The Intimidator, stops by to judge a vegan cooking challenge, which Chris loses by spatting milk everywhere.
Oh, damn it, Chris! Fuck! Fuck, Chris.
What's so fucking
hard? That's cow milk.
Yep.
So you're a racist towards vegans.
Yep.
Your bigotry will not stand during this challenge.
Fucking gladly.
Who has
You know, it's a lot better than '66, so.
We do.
Keep it away.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, we need that plate. We need a plate.
A lot of vegan food has just been rendered unusable. But I appreciate Chris's commitment to proving once and for all that milk and other animal-derived products are in fact disgusting. They are worthy of vomiting out all over the table. Chris, I'm glad that you've been able to create such pro-vegan content here today by showing the true disgusting nature of the milk that is constantly put into our food supply on a regular basis.
You look so fucking good, man.
Jontarius was seen in bedroom 2, pleasuring himself, which forced Jet to have to turn off that room's camera. In the middle of the night, the fish took part in a ritual to summon the elusive entity. This also gives them a chance to get rid of any dead baby spirits. Jontarius wakes up on the kitchen counter with his ass hanging out. He's later seen smoking what seems to be crack, leading to one of the show's biggest arguments. Alex attempts to stick up for the homeless dude, but instead gets both of them kicked out.
Alex, come here, look.
What's up? Oh, man. Oh, what the fuck is this? A glass pot? What the fuck is this? I told you not to fucking smoke crack in this house!
Why didn't you tell me he smokes crack?
I didn't know, I thought he was clean! I told you to be clean when you came back in this house!
I'm saying he's got dope.
Come on. No, you're literally nowhere to fucking go.
I'm not supposed to be homeless. That's not my responsibility.
Yeah, but at least another week, for at least one more week.
One more week?
Yeah, man, it's still fucking out there, man. What are you doing? You're kicking him out. I'm fucking going with him. I'm not fucking staying here with my wife's boyfriend. What, Jet? I don't think it's fucking right. I don't think it's fucking right. That's right.
That day's challenge is to simply never stop moving. Whoever stops moving will not have immunity in the next challenge. Josie and Vance team up by attaching a chair between them in order to guarantee they both make it to the finale. Letty instantly loses as she's attached to Chris as punishment for smoking the herbs. Chris ends up having to take a stinky shit while Letty tries to look away. Vance ends up losing the challenge too after accidentally falling over. Some speculative viewers thought Josie pushed him on purpose, but to me that's bullshit. The two have a genuine friendship at this point. It doesn't sound like something she would do. Either way, this means Josie is certified to be in the finale. Later on day 35, a certain someone returns to the tank as a freeloader.
And a native.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
How are you? I heard a lot about you.
A lot about you too.
Down here. Feels good to have a man back here.
I'm gonna have to say some stuff though. Yeah. You guys all have me do some even, genuine shit. Then I go to some people out there say all kinds of rumors about me the second I left. Even style.
They were talking a lot of shit, man.
They're the specific people who were talking a lot of shit. You know, Chris, I actually like you though. You were the one that always wanted to be looking for. Yeah, I wanted to meet you too.
John makes his massive presence in the house known by leaving everyone in a Bible study. It's just like he used to during the first 2 weeks. Liddy gets screamed at by multiple different people.
You just manipulate, and the people are fucking.
The Fishtank crew announces that shit's going down tonight. Goldstriker comes over and gives Vance an ultimatum: shave the beard or get eliminated. His determination is off the charts and he says farewell to his trusty facial hair. Goldstriker then calls a meeting in the kitchen and explains the show will be shutting down early due to high costs of running it. A contractor estimated that it will cost $60,000 to make repairs to the house. The winner will be determined by a multitude of factors, including who was the most entertaining and who did the best with challenges. The crew goes downstairs to make their decision, and goes over the best qualities of the final 3 contestants.
We deliberated in a fashion that I think is. We made it as fair as possible. We didn't play favorites. We all spoke our piece, and we did a Twitter popularity poll also. We asked the fans for their input, but at the end, this person who won the $35,000, we feel that they are the most resilient, the most impressive competitor, the most hungry for it, the most deserving of it, and we also factored in what's the winner going to do with the money, and this is just the person who we think made the show as strong as possible. And that person is Letty.
Are you serious?
We're serious, okay. And this is not playing favorites. We've been accused of favoritism, but it's just the grit. You got shit dumped on you pretty heavily, and you won. Okay? But if you want to applaud, I know this is probably kicking the balls to you guys, but hopefully, you know, you all are leaving with enough fish bucks. It's almost what the initial prize money was, so hopefully everybody's happy. That's the decision we came to, and we all agreed on that. So congratulations, Letty.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Well done. John's not clapping at all.
Letty was chosen the winner, which John wasn't very happy about.
Fuck that bitch. She's a model, she's a snake. There's a reason why we give no shit all day.
It really seemed like the show would be ending a week early, with Jet thanking fans for their support on Twitter. But this wasn't actually the end. Instead, it was a genius way to draw in more viewers into the tail end of the show. 45 minutes after the cameras turned off, they turned back on. Jet and Jason explained that a new investor contributed money for the show, none other than Dr. Disrespect. Whether this actually happened, neither will tell the truth. It's day 37 and John wakes everyone up individually since it's time for Bible study. Chris is made leader of the house due to his massive size, and everyone else has to be his slave. John notices that his Bible is missing and Chris orders everyone to help find it. That day's challenge has the 3 remaining fish sit on a bed soaked with piss. Vance won since he sat on it the longest. The rest of the night showed the slaves cleaning and cooking for Chris. At around midnight, John gets aggressive towards Letty and throws mushy blobs of paper at her. This is none other than his missing Bible, which Letty chucked into the washing machine. After this display of anger, John sits by the stairs in complete sorrow. Jet and the crew try to consolidate him, telling the others not to touch John's other Bible. He hides in the crawl space located in the garage, to which Jason insists he can destroy one of Letty's items in retaliation. He immediately grabs the one thing he obviously couldn't destroy, Letty's passport, the one thing she needs to get home since she lives in Canada.
And you have to ask Massa. Ask Massa. Ask Massa. You can't.
John, you said anything. John, obviously you can't break your passport. No. John, give me that.
John, you gotta stop. She can't go home.
You guys said anything? Alright, let's go in the basement.
Why would we let you break your passport, motherfucker?
Mr. Goldstriker gets legitimately angry and throws stuff at the top G, leaving him to realize it's time to go. He packs up his bags and exits a tank for the second time. A few hours later, Jet announces the elimination challenge that will determine who makes it to the finale. The Be a Menace challenge requires the fish to cause chaos and havoc to the other contestants. Vance and Letty set their sights on each other and duel out in bedroom 3.
In the trash, man. Where you belong. Get in the trash.
Vance tries being a menace to Josie but can't find it in him. This results in both of them losing the challenge, though since Josie has immunity, Vance is the one leaving.
Quite frankly, Vance, the qualities that make you a good person, make you a solid dude, and have earned you a large fan base, failed you this time around. You're always willing to give a pep talk to whoever's having a mental crisis at the moment, which is a daily occurrence. You've had John sobbing on you. You've had probably every person in this house, staff included, crying on your shoulder. When John was about to destroy Letty's passport, which would have completely fucked the production and been an unbelievably huge problem, you stepped in You stopped him from doing so. You even stopped Letty from ripping up Josie's fish bucks. And you've impressed us all. You've impressed the audience. You've impressed the production staff. You earned yourself a role in World Peace 2. And we think the world of you. But unfortunately today, you are being eliminated. And we know that whatever you do from here on out, whether it's work a regular job or continue doing comedy, the sky's the limit for you. You're going places. And you have people on your side now. You have a huge audience of people. As a matter of fact, I think now due to the fact that the doc has gotten us syndicated on Disney Plus, we now have 100,000 people watching, which is pretty serious.
Today's a new viewership record.
That's
on you guys. And the doc.
And the doc, yeah.
It's mostly the doc.
It's the doc.
But the show's about you, so round of applause for...
Guys, big one for Vance. Come on. Keep clapping, god damn it. Fucking animal. Come on, my man, our man, Fishtank alumni, eliminated due to his good characteristics. Vance, you got something you want to say to the viewers out there?
Even though I lost, I won. And, yeah, all I got left to say, let's go!
His goodbye clearly got to Goldstriker the most, especially with how cheerful Vance was. He truly made Jason, Vance pilled. That night, the final challenge was revealed. This would be a sequel to The Cell, called The Cell 2, Roman numeral 2. Both Josie and Letty are meant to stay in bedroom 2 for the remainder of the competition. They will compete in 42 mini challenges. Whoever wins the most will get the grand prize of $35,000. The final challenge began around midnight on day 39. Now, I'm not going to name every single mini challenge I did here, but I'll mention the most enjoyable. The first was the Don't Stop Talking challenge, which forced them to keep talking with Josie winning. A new freeloader was introduced, a doppelganger of Chris named Chris Chin, emphasis on the chin. Both girls took turns punching each of the Chris's, before having them take part in the roly-poly challenge.
You saw in my face! Fuck you!
We're rolling, guys. Nice job, brothers. Let's go!
Other challenges from this day include debating with each other about weed, playing Jenga, and painting on the Chris's stomachs. Letty won despite her poor attempt at painting Kronos devouring his son. Then they did The Floor is Lava, tag, impersonating John, and retelling Chris's life story. Josie won that one. The next day, the girls each give monologues on why they should win the money. Josie won, though Letty did a better job in the impersonate each other bit. And of course, Letty won the bug eating contest because who else in the house is more disgusting than her? The final freeloader would be introduced, a literal goat named Beans. To round out the night, Chris gets his nipples twisted really hard.
Torturing two.
What do you got first?
Gonna do 2 out of 3?
I think we gotta do.
Yeah, we'll go 2 out of 3.
It's gotta last longer, but let's 2 out of 3. All right, here we go. You can get your hands on the nipple, just don't put pressure on it. You can get them in position, okay? And begin.
That's back to Josie right there.
All right.
On day 41, the two have a lightsaber duel, compete in giving a better house tour, and tickle Chris. My personal favorite was the Piss Off Jason challenge, which Letty won. Who would have guessed?
Oh my god damn! Man, you're such a dude! I'm gonna kill you! Oh my god! Alright, stop!
Ready, Vince. You fucking demon. That was all mostly just sexy until you did the titty twister. That was extremely.
Both were also told to disavow their fan bases, Letty winning this one after mentioning she was dating a trans man.
Why would I want some loser support? Like, I don't even care what you have to say. I know you're just a loser that's sitting at home and spending money just to try and talk to me. That's so fucking pathetic. You don't even know me. I'm just pixels on a screen to you, and you're spending money to send me TTS messages telling me that you love me. I don't know who you are.
Things were getting rough by this point. Both Josie and Letty didn't have any concept of time. They slept on the floor, and they stayed up super late competing in weird challenges, though this would change as tomorrow was the last day of Fishtank Live. Mr. Goldstriker has had enough of the door and starts kicking it down. The gang play Twister and do whatever the fuck this is. The final bit is mud wrestling, which Josie wins a total of 3 times. As a result, she won the show, with her getting infinity points and Letty getting a question mark. It seems like a straightforward ending, but Sam made sure that it was not the case. He starts getting existential and brings out the contracts they signed.
You two. Josie, you displayed strength. I do think you're a strong person. And I'm sure you have bright things ahead of you after this. And Letty, I actually don't hate you. I think you're resilient. I think you kind of have boy brain going on. So impressive at times. I think you probably honestly won this whole competition. So, that being said, Josie, the entire fucking time that we did this, your fans, Josie cells, were rigging every single competition in your favor. Anything that had somewhat of a subjective bias to it. Josie, we gotta turn in for Josie cells right now. There's a poll. Get in there, vote for Josie. Okay? That's a great way to win a competition. It's also a great way to ruin a competition and not make it competitive. So there's that. It could also be said that we could just get some slut from Target stocking shelves to come up here and act spaced out and have desperate, horny, dangerous men voting for her, and she'd probably win the presidency of the United States. So we'll do that season 2, which is definitely happening. Letty, I actually don't hate you. I think you definitely won this whole thing, but your fans, well, lower in number, are even more whacked out, and that disturbs me. And they definitely were doing everything they could to not only sway the contest in your favor, but fuck up the whole show, including sending production members death threats, shit like that. Yeah, they do love you. It's pretty funny. It is kind of funny, actually. And I'm not even going to cancel you for that. I'm not even going to cancel for you that. Actually, I'm going to frame you in the Fishtank Hall of Fame. But here's the thing. You smoked weed. And the first poster that Jet made in the kitchen is no phones, no weed. So you lost. And this is not a joke right now. I'm not fucking with you. You actually lost. Yeah. Josie, you know who Sam Hyde is?
I do now.
Okay. Do you know I'm a mastermind troll? Is that why you signed up for my game show and didn't read the contract? Whoopsie. The contract is stapled in the lower right corner. Wouldn't that throw you off right away? Dude. Read this underlined part for me, okay? If you can.
There is no guarantee that participant will receive any compensation.
Do it louder. Start over louder.
There is no guarantee that the participant will receive any compensation during their time as a participant in the fish tank.
Death penalty.
Oh no.
Ah!
Oh no.
Oops, we got scammed.
That's
A little tiny bit. What's that say?
Confidentiality and life story rights.
So, not only can you not talk about what happened here, because our legal lawyer, we're spending fucking the most part of the whole budget on our lawyer, but when we go to do your life story, all the Josie Cells and Letty Chuds, they're going to be watching the My Little Pony derived anime of your life story produced by Comrade E Entertainment. So, that's it.
Josie won't be winning any money despite spending 6 weeks in this hellhole. Sam then gets into a rant, criticizing the audience for caring so much and ruining the show. Specifically, he points out the terminally online people who did nothing but watch Fishtank.
Looks like you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You finally got it. The show's shut down. Oops! Right before the final contest. Big whoopsie. And the streaming thing, this is not even a thing. If you watch streaming, because I care about my fans. I care about my fans. If you think streaming is a good thing to watch, my man, you're watching people pick up pieces of shit and turds off the floor for 6 weeks, losing sleep. You're in a hospital bed. Fishtank saved my life. I'm in the hospital. Fuck you! You serious? You're watching people pick their nose for 6 weeks? You fucking idiots. There's an entire universe of good literature, movies, music for you to enjoy, but you're watching people smearing fucking chocolate ice cream on the wall and say it's the best thing ever. It makes me fucking sick. The Twitter thing, it makes me sick. All the Twitter posts saying how great the show is. You guys are fucking retarded, and you need to hear that for your own good. And I'm not joking. The streaming's done. That's over. Okay, we've moved on. We're doing big-time shit now. World Peace 2 is happening. And the stuff that I am making in World Peace 2 is the old school MDE. Bringing back the old school MDE. The real culture, the real shit is happening right now, and I missed a huge shot today. That's not bullshit. I missed a huge shot today to be here for the finale. You gotta be here for the Fishtank finale, Mr. Gold Striker. My God. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Vance Pill, Vance Magazine. Let's go! Nah, MDE never dies.
Sam then sits on a desk chair while Josie talks to Jet in the other room. Chris tries persuading Sam to at least give Josie her fish bucks, but he refuses.
What?
You got a segment?
Yeah. I have 1 second for you, Chris. And then I will kill you.
Look, man, I get it. The contract and stuff, but, taking 6 weeks of somebody's life. I think it would be at least fair to give her fish bucks.
Time comes for us all, Christopher.
Yeah, it does. And time can be a real bitch. And I would think you of all people would understand that. You know?
No.
Fish bucks. Look, I would just at least give her a fish bucks. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need to give her fish bucks. I don't want to give her fish bucks. She has earned no fish bucks.
But do you know, doing this kind of thing, what it could do to your reputation?
Chris, my reputation can't go any lower.
It can. It can always go lower.
She broke the rules!
Who?
Josie!
How did she break them?
It says right here in plain English, quid quo pro extra republica, section 9J, 14.135. She gets no fish bucks, no money, nothing. Good day, sir. You lose. Goodbye. Out.
Josie then comes into the room to Jet's insistence. She offers Queso, her favorite plush, to him.
Can I say something to you?
Louder, Josie.
Can I say something to you real quick?
What is it?
Would you like to have queso? You can sell them on the website if you want. Or just throw them out.
So shines a good deed. In a weary world.
Josie! My boy, my beautiful boy! You won! You won the fish tank! You win! The grand prize, the fish bucks! It's all yours! Mr. King! Mr. King, come out, Mr. King! That's not Fred Hassel, Josie! That's Chad King! He works for me!
You won! You won the fish tank.
Chad?
It's nice to see you.
Nice to
You
see
did
you.
great.
Thank
You're the
you.
winner.
Thank you.
You won.
You've won, Josie! You've won the fish tank!
You're the winner.
There's so much to do, so much to show you! Come now! Now! Don't fall, hold the handrail. Down the Get the Oompa Loompas! Quickly! Get the novelty size check!
Yep, a Willy Wonka parody astute viewers like me quickly caught on to. Everyone in the house, including Frank Hassel, comes downstairs to the living room. They not only reward Josie the $35,000, but also give Letty $20,000 as second place prize. Sam ends things off on a heartfelt speech, where you can really tell he's getting emotional. Sam is usually buried under so many layers of irony that it can be difficult to tell how he's feeling, but moments like this just show his true nature. A kind-hearted yet insane man who wants to provide people with interesting and engaging content.
Actor to actor, you were fucking so good. And you knew immediately, like first thing, that we needed a villain to make the show interesting. And I hate when people overact. I can't take it. I want to kill them. But here's the thing about that. Anybody can go out there and hack someone apart with a machete. But if you're using a scalpel, you have to cut around the good tissue, take out the bad. And there's an aspect to certain performing that's like playing chicken with the truth. And you did really good. It's just really good. And Chris, you too, man. Chris, we owe you all. Jet, very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'll leave it at that. You can fill in the blanks. You know what I would say. This is like the most complex and difficult production ever. You did really good, man.
Thank you.
Goddamn.
It was hard, but very much worth it. Thank you for believing in me and letting me hold
always, man,
$250,000 because that's scary.
Always. And you fans, this is like I know Jet's feeling it more right now because this was his baby, but the way I've talked about how I felt when World Peace wrapped,
yeah,
it's just that's the feeling. That's the only time that I'm ever happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy any other time, which is fine. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here through this very weird thing. Thank you for being here through this weird thing. Josie, come here. Look, pull your hair back.
Show my eyebrows.
They're not growing back yet. I look like an alien fruit.
You did
Really good job.
For real.
All your fans are proud of you.
Good job.
You did a good job. You did.
Both Josie and Letty deserved their outcomes, along with everyone on the crew. In fact, it's like everyone had a happy ending, except Simmons because fuck that guy. As the gang went outside to take a group photo, the cameras of the house turned off. One of the many praises Fishtank got was how it elevated the careers of everyone on it. Well, besides Simmons, cause once again that guy can suck a chode. Josie and Letty would spend the next week in Rhode Island, joining Sam and the crew on a few live streams. This was an effort to promote their social media, as the live streams would then be held on Josie and Lenny's respective YouTube channels.
Can I talk about that, or is that embarrassing?
No, you can talk about that.
It's just like John got in Chris's car at the airport, and Chris was just like, "Yeah, it's a really cool show. It's called Fishtank. They're gonna mess with you. They got these things called fish toys, and they just do TTS. The chat's gonna talk to you, like all the stuff we were trying to keep secret." So then John gets in the house and he's like, "Yeah, they have these things, fish toys. They're going to mess with us."
The viewers can pay money to dump the trash all over the kitchen. And the speakers, people will come out of the speaker and talk to us. Just ruined the entire, all the surprises. Like back, it took them like 30 seconds to like ruin like weeks of stuff we were gonna roll out slowly. We were in the basement like so mad. We were like, "Fuck!"
It's like he didn't read the contract.
No, well, nobody. First of all, nobody read the contract.
Read the contract. How have y'all? How have your past few days out of captivity been? You want to talk about?
They've been
just being back in the real world.
Ladies, are you?
Yes. Being outside has been great. I love walking around and, I don't know, looking at stuff. Like, I've never seen so many trees and other shit before in my life. I don't know, I've never been on this area, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I've just been enjoying. I've been to Pittsburgh.
Remind me to tell you where to go if you want to look at cool stuff.
Okay. For me, it's been really weird. Like, I feel like it really had an effect on me being in there. Now, like, just small things, like looking out a window, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like a dog, like standing at this window and just looking out of it. And then, like, I listened to music. I was listening on my AirPods, and I was like, oh my God, like, I feel nauseous from listening to music right now. Like, it was overwhelming.
Vance, Sylvia, and Daniel would also gain followers, along with many freeloaders like Simon, aka Ty, Lance, aka Tyson, and Airsoft Fatty. Many saw this as a revitalization of sorts for Chris's online career, as his notoriety just from iDubbbz was diminished. His appearance on the show was a definitive stance that the two were not on good terms, which is something Ian would most likely never talk about. Jonathan would collab on multiple videos of Froggy Fresh, with the latter even making multiple songs relating to John Tent.
They said I'm a big fish inside a small pond. Gray skies, going sunshine, that's what I walk on. It was all bad, yeah, but now it's all John. They don't know what I can be.
The website is still up and contains a Hall of Fame, showing the results of the first season. You can also find loads of archived footage and a gift shop, which now sells fan design merch. I actually bought the Fishtank movie poster, designed by Star of Tigers, which fits perfectly with my Practical Jokers and Wake and Fright poster. Season 2 will be happening, as Sam teased a release this winter. Though one major setback is that due to the state of the original house, it will be hard to find a new one to rent. The possible solution will be to build an original set, which could be a plus. The show was like no other, and the thought of a continuation makes me hyped. It kept itself interesting by adding on new elements after someone left. It was entertaining, riveting, and full of fan support. MDE will be releasing their own documentary with their footage they recorded, but who knows when that will be out. If you're wondering where to watch it, it will be sent to those like myself who bought the season pass. Thanks for watching, and expect a full documentary on season 2 eventually.
What the spruce? Put the Henny in my juice. Got me loose as a goose, and I float like a cruise. What it do? Chop a hidden peekaboo. Spin pie from my suit. I'm the drink, Dr. Seuss. And bitch, I'm busting off this Farragut. Leave homie, don't stop talking to me. I'ma rip the lyrics off. I'm tripping on a Sunday. Jose put a cherry on. Trap house flooded, so I walk in with a pair of goggles. I guess you're looking at the mean girl. All these bitches fat, they look like they came from SeaWorld. All these bitches mad, cause I'm living in their dream world. Look inside this bag, spent 1,000 on these jeans, girl. As a matter of a fact, I ain't never paid for retail. You are not a bad bitch, you rockin' pigtails. All these crazy motherfuckers on my PayPal. Next pull up with metal, why they pulling up with chainmail?
come here. Let's just kiss. Okay, whoa, just do it normal. There you go.